Alright, test. Welcome to the show. That was Divinity by electronic music producer Porter Robinson. I played Divinity from his 2014 debut album, Worlds, an album that really set the standard and changed the electronic music world for a while. He was regarded as one of the most creative, imaginative minds in the electronic music world for a while, for an era that was very mundane and repetitive. This album felt like a breath of fresh air then, and it still feels like a breath of fresh air now. This album was about to turn 10 years old this year, so that's very crazy. I remember before I discovered Porter Robinson and just this style of music in general, I was very passionless, and ever since I laid my eye or my ears on this one song, Divinity, from then on I just knew man, music is awesome, and then I started to branch out, and it wouldn't be the person I am today without this album and this song in general. This song is just so gorgeous. The vocals from Amy Milan, the amazing drums and the build up and those vocal chops that goes like ba 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 ba. It's just such an amazing track. But yeah, good afternoon, guys. I am your host, u4ic, and you're listening to u4ic's Paradise on the Valley Student Station, Vaquero Radio. I know you guys just heard my little intro play, and it still says Thursday. I'm working on getting that up and running. We'll be getting a new singer soon, and it's probably gonna sound a lot better than that. But remember, Mondays every Monday. I keep saying messing up my things. Every Mondays at 2 p.m. We got a new time, so hopefully nobody gets confused on what time we're starting the show at and everything. So that's great. Hopefully you guys are here listening, enjoying. We're gonna show some new music, and we got a great set list today. I actually provided probably one of the most unique track lists I've made in a while. Hopefully you guys could see the different shifts in tones and the styles of songs, and hopefully find something new in it. Just saying, FYI, hopefully my voice doesn't sound as stuffy, or my nose is very messed up. I recently just got diagnosed with COVID a couple of days ago. I took a test today, tested negative, so I'm perfectly fine to be able to be in this Vaquero Radio studio room. So hopefully that's all good and perfect with you guys. But yeah, regardless, this week shall be better, hopefully, because I was stuck in my room just sleeping and just drowning in my sorrows, not being able to walk or being able to breathe or just feeling feverish. So yeah, hopefully this week shall be better. I'm gonna go back going to the gym again, just because I couldn't go. So I got my wisdom teeth removed, and my doctors advised me not to go to the gym because that would make my blood pressure pump, obviously, of course. So the blood would just ooze, but then after that I would have to wait a bit, and then I went back, and then I got COVID, and then I can't go, and now I'm gonna go back so I can work on my health and all that stuff. But yeah, so actually let's get started on the first couple of tracks we're gonna be playing. The first track I want to play is from this new Glass Beach record that just came out. It's called Plastic Death, and I'm gonna play one of the songs from that album. It's called Motions. I haven't really finished listening to the album, but this track really caught me by surprise. It's very gorgeous, very slow indie rock. And then we're going to transition it into this new artist that I've been loving, and this new band that I've been loving and enjoying for the past couple of weeks already. When I tell you they're somehow already in my top 50, my most listened to artists, it's that's crazy. I'm talking about Ween. Ween is a very influential band, probably one of the most weirdest, most unique bands out there in the music world, and they're just so one of the most creative bands out there, I will say that. But yeah, this I'm gonna be playing their song "The Mollusk" off their album, the 1997 album, "The Mollusk." Yeah, two very great songs, very feeling aquatic in that type of way. So yeah, I'm gonna play "Emotions" first by Glass Beach, and we're gonna transition that into "The Mollusk" by Ween. So let's do that. Alright, that was Motions by Glass Beach, and that was The Mollusk by Ween. Especially that last song right there, The Mollusk. I wanted to talk about my love for Ween that I've developed in the past couple of weeks. I just want to say that I love these guys. I've been listening to every single album up until this point. I first listened to The Mollusk. This album really actually inspired the whole SpongeBob show concept. So thank you, Ween, for somehow creating SpongeBob in that regard. And then, I listened to their album Quebec recently, the full thing. I know I played Transdermal Celebration on this show like a couple months back, I believe around November. That's when I started really listening to Ween. But then like I kind of just had like a whole renaissance of just listening to just strictly their albums the past couple of days. So that's going strong right now. And then I listen to White Pepper, Chocolate and Cheese. These guys just have such an amazing discography. Like it goes from quality record to quality record to quality record to quality record. And I don't know how they manage to do it, man. They're just so uniquely talented, and they're able to just change up their style to whatever they feel like. They could go from alternative rock to lo-fi to electronic to pop rock. It's just so unique that these guys are just able to do whatever is on their mind and just make a whole album about it. But yeah, that song is very oceanic. It's very calming. I love this song. It honestly makes me excited to like go for the just waiting for summer, because I want to be able to play this oceanic record and just go to the beach and just listen to it. But yeah, let's switch gears. I actually wanted to talk about this new song that came out. It's actually coincided with a movie that recently came out as well. It is called The Iron Claw. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's an A24 produced film. It is a biopic on the Von Erich family, a legendary wrestling family from back in the day, probably around the 70s, 80s. I think they actually stretch back towards the 50s. As a wrestling fan myself, I've known about this story for a while. It is very tragic, and one of the most like heart-wrenching stories you'll probably hear out there. It's really, and it's such a big time disaster what happened to these guys. But A24 made a biopic out of it, and it made it into one of the most emotional films ever. Although the whole like what happened to the family is a little bit mundane in the film, because we do not want to show what actually like really happened in that film. All right, if like we saw what happened like legitimately, I think it would be like far worse to watch in person, because that like break down a man. But at the end of the film, they actually played this new song with Richard Reed Perry from Arcade Fire. It is called "Live That Way Forever," and man, this song is just so beautiful. And I still I still think about that final scene where Kevin Von Erich is just thinking about how like he's brotherless now. He just lost all his family members and all that stuff. He lost all his brothers, and he just has his wife and his kids. And just seeing like him being able to play with his kids after just getting like, oh, I don't have my brothers anymore, but you guys are my brothers now, made me cry so much. And then this beautiful song just started playing, man. It really made me emotional. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. The whole Von Erich family story is tragic, but they're gonna be forever etched in history, and I am very grateful to have that song to coincide with the whole gist of it all. Like when I say I love like professional wrestling, like I genuinely mean that. I've played some wrestling theme songs on here, and I've even played Edge's Metalingus. Surprisingly, I haven't even played CM Punk's Cult of Personality. That's probably one of my favorite wrestling theme songs. I played a song from John Cena's rap album from 2005 called "You Can't See Me." That song is right now, by the way, if you guys actually want to hear it. It's a really great song. I recommend it. But yeah, just I have a whole love for this whole business and the whole stories and emotions that I get out of it, man. It really means a lot to me. But yeah, I'm gonna change after playing "Live That Way Forever," I'm gonna transition into this new, or not new recently, but this album came out last year. It is from the Japanese house. It is called "Sad to Breathe." This track is very starts off very slow, but then it just becomes this poppy, drums song that just comes out of nowhere. Very unique track. I love it as well. They're gonna sound stylistically different, and trust me, the next two songs that I'm gonna play after these commercials, after these two songs finish, it's gonna sound stylistically different even more. So that's like I said about this show before. I do want to explore new tastes with you guys, and I hope you guys are able to walk around, listen to me, and you're like, oh, this song is amazing. Oh, this song is different, and it still sounds great. So like I said, I feel like that's what's really beautiful about music, how like nothing is always going to be the same, and that's why music is so unique, that it pertains to like people's tastes. Alright, so first we're going to be playing "Live That Way Forever," and then we're going to transition it to "Sad to Breathe," and then after that we're going into commercials, and we'll be right back. Alright, starting off with "Live That Way Forever." Alright, that was "Live That Way Forever" and "Sad to Breathe." Like I said, two songs that are very unique, and they're very beautiful, poppy, and they just really bring out the feels in you. But yeah, we're at the halfway mark of today's episode. I have four tracks left to play. These next four tracks are going to be very different from one another. Especially these next two tracks. The next two tracks are actually be very disco pilled. They do fit in line. Just very different, artists and I guess subgenre of disco. But yeah, what's it called? These next few tracks are, I don't know. It's just funny, like thinking about how like I'm gonna transition from this one song into the other one. The first song I'm gonna be playing on this section of today's show is actually be from Caliucci's new album, Igual que una, or I'm not gonna pronounce the album name because honestly I don't even know how to pronounce it or even just read it right. But this is her new song in collaboration with Peso Pluma. And although I'm not the biggest Peso Pluma fan, I think his vocals are actually pretty good on this track. And then Kelly, it's Kelly Uchis. She's a really great singer. I don't think anybody could like go ahead and try to criticize her. She made Isolation a great R&B, pop album. Really great. Um, I'm, I'm laughing because of something my girlfriend texted me in the middle of the show. um, but what's it called? Yeah, Kelly Uchis, she has an amazing vocal performance, has amazing vocal delivery. So I'm always gonna fall in love with whatever she has to put out on a track. I think anything she does is just simply amazing in that regard. But yeah, this new song is very sleepy, very poppy, has a mix of a lo-fi vibe. Of course, it's Latin as well, so it's nice to see them switching away from that that classic just trap reggaeton beat into something more euphoric feeling, more just sleepiness in that type of regard. Something that you can always appreciate is just like a unique change of pace. That's something I always like to listen to. And then after that, we're actually gonna transition it to this song by Wave Dash. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing this, trap banger. This track, electronic music banger. It is called Sad and Cash Part 2. The song's actually originally from Wave Dash's 2021 album, Famous World Tour. It was called Sad and Cash. Not the biggest fan of that record, but they do have some classic hits like Stallions and Don't Fight It. But they also had a song called Sad and Cash, which I really didn't like, honestly. But then they dropped this remix 2 years ago, 2022. It is called Sad and Cash Part 2. They somehow managed to just flip the script on that song and just turn it into a clubhouse banger. It's just very, loud, wall of sound, trappy, just drumming and bass all up around, and it's a very fun party track that I listen to if you're going to a rave or an EDM show, somewhere down that regard. So yeah, I hope you guys see the style change. This is usually when my playlist goes through. Like I could go from like one of the sleepiest songs on my playlist to just something so bumpy and upbeat. So, like I said, that's what music is all about. It's all about the style changes and how different everything can be from one another. Alright, so first I'm going to be playing Igual que un Ángel with Caliucci's featuring Peso Pluma, and it's going to transition to Sad and Cash by Wave Dash. So yeah, let's do this. Alright, that was Igual que un Ángel with Caliucci's featuring Peso Pluma, and that was Sad and Cash Part 2 by Wave Dash. Speaking of Wave Dash, they actually have a new album on the way. I don't know too much about the album coming out as far as I know, but as far as I know, there's actually more disco grooved disco pill tracks. So it's nice to know that disco is really coming back. And their first single actually for the album comes out this Thursday, I believe, February 1st actually. It is a song called All Your Love in collaboration with Madion featuring Toro y Moi. So I'm very excited for that song. I just know I'm going to be annoying everybody with the song because it is, from the looks of it, sounds amazing, and I'm very excited because I feel like that's like such a magnum opus type song for me to just hear Madion and Toro y Moi, beautiful vocals, and just hearing that pop disco vibe going into it is just something I'm so addicted to, and something that I'm automatically leaning towards being like, oh, my favorite song of the year. So very excited for that track to come out already. I can't wait that much longer anymore. I know for some reason this month of January has just felt so long in this for a while. I don't know why. It feels like it's been like 2 Januaries in one. But yeah, we're on the final 2 songs. These next 2 songs are really great. They just came out this month. Like I said, the January has actually been a really good month for music in 2024. I got high hopes for 2024 music. This first song that I'm be playing for the last two tracks is gonna be by Ariana Grande. It is her new song, Yes and. Very disco pill track. I don't know what she got into, man. I feel like she was just one day she went to a club and probably like saw some DJ that just played some Daft Punk and some Justice and some like like James music, and she was like, yeah, no, I'm doing this for my next album, man. She's usually been more of course on the pop side, and with her beautiful vocals and all that stuff, from Thinking Next to a Sweetener, and then Positions came out, and then we had that whole like drought of Ariana Grande music, and honestly that was kind of a bad way to go out. I honestly did not really like Positions. um my girlfriend's got to stop texting me while during the show. She's making me laugh way too much. I'm not gonna say what she said, all right? It's way too disrespectful to Ariana Grande, all right? But like I said, Yes and is very disco pilled, and it just sounds instantly joyous to me. Although the vocals may be a little bit sleepy, other than that, like this track is great. I love it. And then to end off today's show, we're actually playing the new Justice song called One Night All Night. I am very excited for this new Justice album out April 26th. This new song is in collaboration with Tame Impala. So you can imagine the song. It has very psychedelics. It's groovy and it's upbeat, but it's also very dark and gritty in that regard. That amazing bass line and just amazing instrumentation and the way how it just gets you like, yeah. I think the song is great, man. They also dropped a new single alongside this one called Generator, and that one's a lot more esoteric and dark, and it has that groove to it. Justice is like, it's like the kings of like dark house right now. So I'm very excited for this Justice album. Other than that regard, I'm really excited to see what these guys really bring to the table with this new album. Especially now that we have this track, I feel like it's gonna be probably one of the best Justice albums possible. I don't even know how they could top the original Cross album. But you know what, I feel like they're able to do it, man. With Daft Punk out the picture and all that stuff, it's great to have Justice on the side. So yeah, we're gonna be ending off today's show. First, we're gonna be playing Yes and then we're transitioning to One Night All Night by Justice and Tame Impala. All right, let's do this. All right, before I end the show, I just want to say to the Student Health Clinic, if you're listening, shout out to using Daft Punk Give Life Back to Music for your ad. That is amazing. I love that song. You guys are great, and I hope you guys get customers or whatever you guys do this thing for. I can't really, I'm not good at advertising. But yeah, that was Yes and by Ariana Grande, and that was One Night All Night by Justice and Tame Impala. But two very great disco tracks, and I really hope that 2024 is going to be an amazing year for music. We got new Justice all the way, new Wave Dash Maddie on collab, we got new JPEG Mafia on the way. It's just going to be a jam-packed year, and I'm very excited for it. But yeah, remember guys, you can catch me here next week every Mondays at 2 p.m. It is time for me to go, so you know what, with that being said, remember, you can always tune back here. See you guys next Monday, 2 p.m. Euphoric Paradise. DJ Euphoric signing out. Thank you guys for listening.